Mark Nemec, and as president of Fairfield University, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome you, students, family and friends, faculty and staff, to the Marion Peckham Egan School of Nursing and Health Studies White Coat Ceremony. This ceremony has particular personal meaning for me as I am blessed to be third-generation Jesuit educated, and actually the first not to be educated as a nurse. For my grandmother received her diploma from St. Joseph's Hospital in Omaha, which evolved into Creighton University's nursing program, and my mother received her bachelor's degree from Loyola University of Chicago. While I share this sentiment every year, this year's ceremony has even greater meaning, as you are preparing to meet a world upended by a global pandemic. Fairfield is committed to forming young women and men of purpose. Your answering of the call to be health professionals stands as an exemplar of this commitment. Congratulations on this important milestone. Be well, and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Nemec, for those kind remarks. I'm Meredith Kaiser, Dean of the Marion Peckham Egan School of Nursing and Health Studies at Fairfield University. And on behalf of our entire faculty, staff, and administration, I'm so pleased to welcome these students, parents, faculty, and invited guests. And thank you for joining us today. It's such an honor to stand in front of this wonderful group of second-degree students as we celebrate the clinical portion of your nursing education that you actually be able to begin last summer. First initiated in 1993 at the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons, the Arnold P. Gold Foundation White Coat Ceremony traditionally was held to welcome and initiate each new class of medical students and emphasize humanistic patient-centered care, as well as to recognize physicians' responsibility to put the interests of patients first from the beginning of the clinical practice throughout their careers. In 2014, the American Association of Colleges of Nursing, in conjunction with the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, began supporting nurses to participate in white coat ceremonies across the country. We are thrilled that nurses are joining physicians in our commitment to putting patients first. In the words of AACN President Eileen Breslin, inviting nursing into this initiative sends a clear message that all health professionals have an essential role to play in providing compassionate care. So it is with great enthusiasm that I welcome you to this exciting world of nursing practice. I am confident that throughout your nursing careers, you will save lives, help transition patients to a peaceful death, relieve suffering, detect a disease before it is clinically accessible. You'll give joy, you'll give comfort, and then you will go to sleep and you will wake up the next day and do this all over again. You have chosen well, and we are so thrilled to have you join us. It is now my pleasure to introduce brief remarks from pivotal leaders in the nursing profession. Dr. Richard Levin, President and CEO of the APG Foundation, and Dr. Deborah Trotman, AACM President and CEO, will provide some brief introductory remarks, and then we will hear from our keynote speaker, Representative Lauren Underwood from Illinois. Thank you again for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of the program.
I'm Richard Levin, the President and CEO of the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. I want to greet all of you who are starting your nursing careers or the clinical rotations in your nursing school, and congratulate you on your courage in this time of COVID. In the Year of the Nurse, the 200th anniversary of the birth of Florence Nightingale. And I'd like to give a warm welcome to your family and friends, to your faculty and your deans. Amid a global pandemic, during a devastating economic crisis, and at a moment of reckoning with terrible and persistent racial inequities, it would have been easy to cancel this ceremony. But humanism is not canceled. In fact, the world can see it now more clearly than ever. In times of crisis, healthcare swings into a different mode and reveals itself for what it truly is, one human being caring for another. The White Coat Ceremony was created in 1993 by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation to mark this moment in your journey as clinician, to recognize your awesome responsibility to the patient in front of you, and to emphasize the importance of compassion, respect, empathy, and ethical patient care. In 2020, this ritual has even more meaning. In moments of difficulty and challenge, you can reflect back on your ceremony today and remember again why you first decided to become a nurse: to help people to heal, to care with compassion, to make the world a better place. Thank you so much for this contribution.
As we celebrate your white coat ceremony, I'm pleased to introduce the Honorable Lauren Underwood to present the keynote address. Representative Underwood serves Illinois' 14th district as the newest nurse elected to Congress. She is the first woman, the first person of color, and the first millennial to represent her community. She is the youngest African-American woman to ever serve in the United States House of Representatives. Prior to her election, Congresswoman Underwood served as the senior advisor at the United States Department of Health and Human Services, working to help implement the Affordable Care Act, as well as prevent, prepare for, and respond to disasters, bioterror threats, and public health emergencies. Representative Underwood is also a former AACN intern who, as a graduate student at Johns Hopkins University, expressed a strong desire to serve in Congress someday. In less than 10 years, she has made that dream a reality. Representative Underwood is a strong, steadfast champion of nurses and the nation. She is a vibrant voice for compassion and humanism in healthcare, which is the heart of this ceremony and your work as future nurses. We are proud to have the Congresswoman join us for this momentous occasion and serve as an inspiration as you take your first steps to becoming a nurse. Congratulations, and please welcome Congresswoman Lauren Underwood.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Underwood. I represent Illinois' 14th Congressional District, and I'm a proud nurse. Thank you for the honor of addressing you on the day of this critical milestone. I'm so glad to be able to celebrate with you. I'd like to thank the American Association of Colleges of Nursing and the Arnold P. Gold Foundation for coordinating this virtual ceremony and providing an opportunity for all of us to reflect on what brought you to this point in your professional formation. I completed my BSN at the University of Michigan, and it doesn't seem like that long ago that I completed my MSN MPH at the Johns Hopkins School of Nursing. I started at Hopkins at the age of 21, the youngest member of my class. I was ambitious, excited, and ready to chase after opportunities with an open heart and mind. I started my master's program in the summer of 2008, just months before the onset of the Great Recession. I was living a block away from my school in an unfamiliar low-income African-American community. The rapid economic downturn illuminated the poverty in the East Baltimore community I was living in and the inequality in our nation's healthcare system. The recession also accelerated the urgent sense of purpose I felt to pursue my work on health disparities. I quickly accepted a job as a research fellow at the National Institutes of Health Clinical Center, where I worked with nurse researchers to better understand clinical trial participation among minority patients in an effort to tackle that long-standing equity issue. I later worked as a research nurse on another health disparities study. And in my coursework, I focused on improving African American birth outcomes, examining infant mortality and preterm birth rates, and evaluating policy interventions like expanding Medicaid and funding nursing education. It was little more than a decade ago, in 2009, when I graduated from Hopkins. At the time, more than 40 million Americans lacked health insurance, and I saw a transformative opportunity in the Affordable Care Act to increase access to care and improve the health of the American people. I'm so grateful I had a chance to work on the Affordable Care Act implementation in the Obama administration after graduation. My commitment to ending disparities in maternal-child health outcomes continued in the administration, where I later worked to advance equity with the White House Council for Women and Girls. As I was serving out the last few days of the Obama administration, a classmate and good friend of mine from my MSN MPH program, Shalon Irving, gave birth to her beautiful daughter, Soleil. Just 3 weeks later, Shalon collapsed and passed away due to complications from high blood pressure related to her pregnancy. She was just 36 years old. Shalon was an epidemiologist at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, where she worked to investigate and eliminate health disparities. She was highly educated with a doctorate. She was excited to be a mom, and she had done everything right, and we still lost her. I couldn't believe it. Her death was a devastating reminder of the disparities that women of color face in our healthcare system. The statistics are unacceptable. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications than white women, and more than twice as likely than women of other races. Maternal health outcomes, which have been improving worldwide, have worsened over the course of my lifetime in America. Here, right here, in the United States of America, the richest country in the world. Looking back, I can see it was my training as a nurse and in public health that gave me the grounding in evidence-based decision-making that's not only essential to nursing, but to policymaking. That foundation and Shalon's story, which I carry with me every day in Congress, inspired me to co-found the Black Maternal Health Caucus to take on these disparities through evidence-based policies. It's why in March of 2020, I introduced bipartisan legislation to take urgent action to address our nation's maternal health crisis and to finally end the racial disparities in maternal outcomes. And I'm proud to say more than 100 members of Congress have joined me in this effort. Don't ever doubt that change is possible. My training as a nurse provided me with the data-based grounding that has been central to my work in Congress. But being a nurse is even bigger than the practical knowledge you learn and the skills you employ. Fundamentally, nursing is about the intimate moments that you'll have with your patients and their families at the bedside, answering their questions and addressing their fears in what might be the most difficult moments of their lives. That's what white coat ceremonies are all about. The traditions of compassion and patient-centered care that have deep roots in the nursing profession. I've carried this spirit of compassion with me during my time in Congress. In fact, some of the conversations I have with constituents aren't too different from the ones you'll have with your patients. People so often come to me when they don't know where else to turn. Whether it's an issue with getting their Social Security payments or challenges paying off their student loan debt, or an inability to afford insulin for their child with diabetes, in just a few short minutes, you can share in the struggles of members of your community and work to develop policies to help them. My hope for you as you begin your careers is that the spirit of compassion and service that drew you into nursing will stay with you and carry you through the hard days. And as our nation has seen through this pandemic, there will undoubtedly be hard days. But your passion for helping others, particularly the most vulnerable, is a light that will help you see in the dark. And when days are long and you feel tired or sad or worn out, remember that there are patients who look at you as their reason for hope. Also remember to take care of yourselves and look out for your fellow nurses on the front lines. When so many others depend on you, it's especially important that you're getting the support that you need. Because let's face it, our nation can't afford to lose you, not only for the clinical expertise that you'll display every day with patients, but in the wide range of ways that you'll be able to be change agents in your communities. Nurses are making a difference as clinicians, researchers, policy advocates, faculty members, and yes, even as members of Congress. Whether you'll be making breakthrough scientific discoveries or leading an advocacy campaign to push for access to affordable health care, your nursing background will prepare you for a career dedicated to promoting the health and well-being of your neighbors and our nation. You might be remembered by a mom as the person who saved her son's life, or a dad who watched his daughter's face light up every time you walked into her hospital room. You might be remembered by the elderly patient who doesn't receive visitors but knows you as a friend. You might be remembered for the important paper you published in an academic journal that advances our understanding of the impacts of air pollution on childhood asthma. Or you could be remembered for inspiring your colleagues to call their representatives and express support for legislation that will provide necessary funding for nursing schools. There are so many possibilities ahead of you, but one common thread runs through them all: the opportunity to make people's lives better. There's no higher calling. So, as you prepare to do this critically important work, I hope you're feeling inspired and excited. You might feel a little nervous too, especially in the midst of COVID-19. But as nurses, are desperately needed on the front lines of this public health crisis, you will continue to be needed long after the pandemic. There are urgent challenges that must be confronted, from the disparities that exist throughout our healthcare system to the unacceptable barrier of costly, unaffordable care that hurts millions of Americans every year. There's a lot of work ahead, but for now, I hope you can celebrate this exciting milestone. Know that your families, friends, and classmates and faculty will be there for you every step of this journey. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see you change the world. Congratulations, and remember to take good care of yourselves.
Today, you receive your white coats as well as the specially designed pin from which are a gift of the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. The tradition began in order to welcome students to healthcare practice and elevate the value of humanism as the core of healthcare. The loop of the specially designed pins symbolizes the continuous bond of trust, respect, and communication that connects you to your patients. Together, they are meant to serve as a visual reminder of your oath and commitment to provide compassionate and high-quality care. As we honor the start of your clinical student nursing career, may you always remember to shine as bright as these white coats. As quoted by Maya Angelou, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Remember that as you venture off to care for our elderly, our youth, our veterans, our birthing mothers, and the many more you will encounter in your nursing career. May nothing dim the light which shines from within, and may you never forget the gentle care your hands will provide for the many patients you will care for.
Good morning. My name is Karen Burrows. I'm professor of the practice at the Miriam Peckham Egan School of Nursing. I would like to welcome today the accelerated class of 2021 to their white coat ceremony. I would like to ask the class to please stand and don their white coats. After you've donned your coats, please grab your cardboard card of the oath. As we will recite it, you will repeat after me. Please remain standing. The nurse's oath. I solemnly pledge myself to live up to the high ideals of Fairfield University, Miriam Peckham Egan School of Nursing and Health Studies and my chosen profession. Repeat after me.
I solemnly pledge myself to live up to the high ideals of the Fairfield University, Miriam Peckham Egan School of Nursing and Health Studies, and my chosen profession.
I will uphold my commitment to academic honesty, accountability, confidentiality, and ethical practice throughout my training and the remainder of my professional life.
I will uphold my commitment to confidentiality and ethical practice throughout my training and the remainder of my professional life.
I will act in a professional manner and protect the safety and welfare of my patients, fellow nurses, and my community.
I will act in a professional manner and protect the safety and welfare of my patients, fellow nurses, and my community.
I will remember that my actions reflect not only upon myself, but upon Fairfield University, Egan School, and the profession of nursing.
I will remember that my actions reflect not only upon myself, but upon the Fairfield University, Egan School, and the profession of nursing.
I will strive to maintain the values of the school by following a code of personal and professional integrity, by actively involving myself in the generation, exploration, and application of new knowledge, and by developing partnerships with other students, nurses, and members of the healthcare team.
I will strive to maintain the values of the school by following a code of professional and
actively involving myself in generation of new knowledge and by building partnerships with other students, nurses, and members of the healthcare team.
I voluntarily make this pledge of professionalism as witnessed by my nursing classmates and my professors.
I voluntarily make this pledge of professionalism as witnessed by my nursing classmates and my professors.
Please remain standing for the blessing of the hands.
Good morning. This is Father Jerry Bloschak, Vice President here at Fairfield University for Mission and Ministry. On November the 27th, perhaps for the first time ever, an opinion piece by the head of the Catholic Church appeared on the opinion page of the New York Times. The title of Pope Francis's piece was, "A Crisis Reveals What is in Our Hearts." The crisis to which Pope Francis refers, of course, is the coronavirus pandemic. Reflecting on the crisis, Pope Francis turns to the lives of two nurses who were responsible for caring for him when he was critically ill with influenza, already a young Jesuit at age 21. Here is what Pope Francis wrote. Cornelia and Michaela are in heaven now, but I will always owe them so much. They fought for me to the end until my eventual recovery. They taught me what it is to use science, but also to know when to go beyond it to meet particular needs. They taught me how to depend on the goodness and wisdom of others. Pope Francis continues, in these past months of lockdown, I have often prayed for those who seek all means to save the lives of those entrusted to them. So many nurses, doctors, caregivers paid the price of love. We return their love now by grieving for them, by honoring them, and above all, by learning from them. Whether they were conscious of it or not, their choice testified to this belief, that it is better to live a shorter life, serving others unconditionally, than longer lives resisting that call. They are what I call saints next door, who have awakened something important in the hearts of all of us, making credible once more what religion has tried to preach. Pope Francis writes, these nurses and caregivers are the antibodies to the virus of indifference. They remind us that our lives are a gift, and we grow by giving ourselves, not preserving ourselves, by losing ourselves in service. These caregivers and nurses dare us to let ourselves be touched by the pain of others, and we must learn from them if we are to come out of this crisis less selfish than when we went in. On this solid foundation, we can build a better, different human future. Let us pray. Loving and compassionate God, you know what is in the hearts of the members of the Egan School of Nursing class of 2023. You know it because it was you who planted deep within the heart of each one of them the desire to be your hands of healing, your voice of counsel, your eyes of understanding, your arms of support for their sisters and brothers. Today, as they don their white coats, signs of their profession, they affirm that they are ready and willing to take up further studies, to continue their clinical formation, which they will need to be competent, committed, and compassionate nurses. May you, O good and compassionate God, who inspire us to move out of isolation into solidarity, who call us to find our personal completion in service, may you continue to bless our administrators, faculty, staff, and above all, bless our nursing students with courage, boldness, joy, and boundless enthusiasm in their holy vocation. Be there for them as they are for others. Embrace them, soothe them, console them, support them, so that they may be an effective sign of your own unending love and compassion to a world so desperately in need of healing and hope. Bless them today and always, dear God.
Hi, my name is Audrey Beauvais. I am the Associate Dean of the Undergraduate Programs at the Egan School. For closing remarks, I am joined by Professor Carol Pomrico, Director of the Second Degree Nursing Program. Today's program is generously supported by 2 Egan families who wish to remain anonymous and the Arnold P. Gold Foundation. On behalf of Dean Kaiser and the entire faculty and staff at the Egan School of Nursing and Health Studies, we would like to again thank you for joining us today for this symbolic celebration. A celebration that recognizes that nursing is both an art and a science. At this point in your nursing education, we have been focused on the science aspect of nursing. You have studied anatomy and physiology and chemistry, to name a few. But today we focus on the art, the heart of nursing, as you now begin the clinical component of your nursing education. As you wear your white coats, we want you to remember that nursing is about human connections. That connections help you to be present with the patient during all the moments and phases of life, both happy and sad. Our connections are grounded in compassion, respect, empathy, and ethical practice. We know that your compassionate care will provide you with an opportunity to heal the world and make people's lives better. We want to conclude today's ceremony with a reflection on the journey ahead of you as nursing students at Fairfield's Egan School. This coat represents the nursing experiences you are about to embark on.
I'm so pleased to share the following thoughts with you on this very special day. You will wear this coat as you go out into the community setting and provide health screenings, as you care for the elderly in late stages of Alzheimer's disease, as you assist a new mother to gain confidence in caring for their baby, and as you care for a pediatric patient battling a sickle cell crisis. You will reach your full potential as a nursing student while wearing this coat. You will learn in a simulation environment, provide wellness education, partake in preventative health initiatives, and care for patients in acute care settings. In essence, you will become a nurse wearing this coat. And today, you are blessed so that you may provide care to your patients skillfully and compassionately. Remember the power of your touch, which, along with your knowledge and nursing skill set, provide the holistic patient care that is central to your Jesuit nursing education. The symbolic nature of today is evident and will remain with you not only as you continue through your nursing education, but throughout your entire nursing career. You have distinct gifts, your knowledge and skills to make a real difference in the lives of your patients. And we know that you will all make this difference and touch the lives of all those who you care for. Congratulations, nursing students. And this concludes our white coat ceremony.